This is part 4 of Bob Gaskin's presentation at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds, the RK Prepper Survival Expo, July 10th, 2016. The Morals of Survival, part 4. In this last segment, Bob asks more tough moral questions, and here's just some of them. Is it your responsibility to assure each and every one survives? Will you share your food, water, and shelter with the folks who show up on your doorstep in need? Are you going to turn those people away? What will you do if and when you run out of food and water? Do you have it in you to do what's right? And the final moral question that he asks is, how many people are going to die because of the luxuries you currently are enjoying? He closes then by recapping his presentation and appeals to everyone's sense of responsibility and humanity. Stick with us for part 4, the final segment of Morals of Survival by Bob Gaskin.
You got to get 300 to 450 miles inland. You got to get farther west than Winchester, Kentucky. You got to get inland. And the problem is when this happens, and you get up the next morning and you go outside and the sun still hasn't risen, you're going to think about all the things you need to get done in order to move your entire family west, right? And you're going to be worried about, how am I going to get gas? How am I going to get there? What route am I going to take? How am I going to do this? And while you're standing there trying to figure out how you're going to do everything you need to do, people are going to start showing up in your front yard. Every person you ever talk to. I live in Hillham, Tennessee. I have the largest retreat in Middle Tennessee. We have, 6 months after the Schumer Hicks family, we'll have the only functioning law enforcement department, we'll have the only functioning military. If you find yourself on Interstate 40 in Tennessee, in the Cookeville area, go to Highway 111, which is actually the 289 or 290. You head north to Livingston, Tennessee, till you get to the Arby's. This is being videoed and going on YouTube, folks. I don't care. Because it's my responsibility to make sure that each and every person that hears this message survives. Because if not, you're all going to die. And when you get to the Arby's, hang out, because every morning from 0700, 0900, my security team will be there. And all you got to do is say, hey, I'm looking for Black Dog Bob. And they'll bring you to us. And we'll feed you, we'll clothe you, we'll shelter you, and we'll put you to work. And if you're trying to get home from there, we'll give you what you need and send you on your way with a whole list of places you can stop along the way, of people that will give you food and shelter and medication and protect you while you sleep and heal and recover. Why? Because it's what we're supposed to do. When all these people show up at your house, the rule of thumb is 1.5. That's how many people every person will bring with them. If there are 40 people that know that you're a prepper and that you've been this crazy Bob all these years, and all of a sudden you're now the expert, the leading expert on everything that's going on, 40 of them, that's 100 people showing up. 100 of them, it's 250 showing up. You're very fortunate today because you have an opportunity. You've got about 4 to 7 months to formulate your plan of what you're going to do when these people show up. Where are you going to position the security details in your convoy? Which vehicles are going to carry the heavy stuff? Which vehicles are going to carry the light stuff? Do you have coloring books and stuffed animals and things to entertain and educate the children to keep their minds occupied so they don't lose it in the midst of this tumultuous time frame for you? Have you done that? No, but it's okay because you have time to get to there. If you start yesterday, you're not going to turn these people away, are you? Who here now, after hearing everything I've talked about, is actually going to try to turn people away? So now So now you've got a monumental task ahead of you. We'll talk later. Now you've got a monumental task ahead of you. Because your job now is to make sure that your family has everything they need to survive when you're sharing with all of these other people. That you are now leading out of the tumultuous death zone and into the promised land. And where are you going to go? How are you going to get there? You've got an opportunity now to start stockpiling gasoline and putting it in storage units along the route, the alternate route that you're going to take. Or if you're smart, you'll look at the maps and figure out how to get there via boat. There's a difference between looting and salvaging. Looting is when you go in and you take by force, you should be shot, right? Salvaging is what?
What is salvaging? Come on. What is salvaging?
Taking only what you need, leaving the rest for the next person. That is salvaging. And guys, all those boats at the marinas on the rivers are going to be abandoned by the time you get there. So you're not looting them, you're what? Salvaging them. You can move a lot of people safely by waterways. A lot easier and safer than you can by foot. And if you try to take a convoy of vehicles, and you haven't planned out your alternate route that doesn't involve main avenues of egress and egress, you're going to find yourself bogged down and on foot. Move a lot of people a lot quicker and a lot easier, as well as a lot of material a lot quicker and a lot easier than you can on your back on foot if you're in a boat on a river. Everybody with me so far? So my question for you is this. How is history going to remember you? Is history going to remember you as the guy that died 3 days into a society-ending event because you tried to kill 842 people that came to your house to get your bag of beans and your bucket of freeze-dried fruit? Or is society going to remember you? Is history going to remember you as the person that led the charge in bringing people out of the chaos, out of the ashes, and rebuilding society? That's what it all boils down to. So, if you decide that that's the path you want to go, the path that's going to help you to survive, for purely selfish reasons, your own survival, right? You have to become completely unselfish and help others that are going to be there for you. Hitler was a genius. I wasn't going to go there today, but I'm going to. Hitler was a genius. You know why? Hitler taught us how to torture people. See, Hitler, the SS, stand up for me for a second. Y'all have any kids? Okay, y'all are going to be a great example. Come over here. One of y'all take, you don't see him in here. If I was an SS major and I was in charge of getting information from people, acquiring information, he's like referred to it, my job is to torture this dude so that he tells me everything he wants to know. Are y'all married? And you have 2 small children? Outstanding. Who do you think that? Outstanding. You're going to get angry at me for about this long, and then you're going to love me. So deal with it. All right, you got to get that. I always got to get that warning before I get this visual, because the woman really gets angry. See, if I was an SS person and I'm in charge of torturing and gaining information, I would bring him into a room and I would strip him naked and tie him to a chair, right? Because a naked man confronted by fully clothed men loses all bravado. Okay, they become this quivering shell of a man, right? So I would strip him naked and tie him to his chair, and then I would show him all of the implements that I was going to use to inflict pain on his person. And if he still doesn't talk, I bring in his wife. I don't touch him. I don't torture him at all. I never once stab him, poke him, cut him, pinch him, tweeze him, electrocute him, nothing. I just show him what I can do, thank you, and then I bring in his wife, and I strip her naked, and I tie her to a chair. And then I come back to him and I re-show him all of the tools that I'm now going to use to inflict pain on her. And if he doesn't love her, and he still doesn't tell me what I want to know, I bring the children into the room. This is where you're supposed to get angry. But see, the second that her children come into the room, my job is done. She's going to tell me everything I want to know. And if she doesn't know what I want to know, she's going to beg him to tell me everything I want to know. And he will. How can we take that completely evil thing and turn it into something for good? We take that lesson and we flip it around. See, stand up for me. When these two and their children come to my retreat and say, can you spare any food? Little Susie hasn't had any water in 3 days and she's lethargic. And little Johnny hasn't eaten in 4 days because he refuses to eat until they're completely out of food, because every time he eats, Susie loses a meal. And mom and dad haven't eaten or drank anything in a week. And they come to me and they say, can you help my children? Hell yes. 3 reasons. 1, it's just the right thing to do. 2, my people aren't going to follow me into leading them out of the chaos and building something up out of the ashes if I turn these people away. 3, when I feed little Johnny and little Susie, she becomes my most staunch supporter. She becomes my advocate. She will appreciate me for the rest of her days. And as long as she feels that way about me because I fed her children, this dude's screwed. He becomes my most loyal man. If I tell him, if anything ever happens to you, I'm still going to take care of your wife and your children, and I need you to go over there and assault that machine gun nest, what do you think he's going to do? Because it wasn't words, was it? It was words reaffirmed in a previous action. He will believe that if anything happens to him, I'll take care of her and their kids. So he's going to do exactly what I tell him to do without question. And if he doesn't, when he goes home that night, she's going to be saying to him, what if they kick us out? What if they don't take care of our kids anymore? What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? And then she's going to pick up the gun and go assault the machine gun nest to make sure I don't kick them out. Because I'm the only one that took care of what? Your children, right? Y'all can kind of see. Everybody with me so far? It's the right thing to do. For purely selfish reasons, your own survival, you have to stop, rethink things, and become completely unselfish and make sure that others survive so that they can help you. Whole reason I have one of the largest groups in Tennessee is because I don't like to chop wood. That's what it all boils down to. I've prepped for 173 people, a year's worth of food, water, fire, shelter, first aid, and hygiene that I have never met before. Because one of them can cut wood. And we're going to need a lot of wood to chop. How much wood can Bob chop? None if somebody else is around to do it. Right? I have bigger things to worry about. Because I'm going to have about 850 people in the first weeks that I got to take care of and lead and support and advise and counsel. And guess what? So are you. Because you're the crazy prepper yesterday that became an expert last night that is my only hope today. And you don't have it in you to kill those people and turn them away. Now, if every person that comes cuts your stockpiles in half, how quickly is it going to take for your 2 years worth of supplies to become a week and a half? What does that tell you? Tomorrow morning, each and every one of you needs to go to the restaurant supply house here in Raleigh. You need to buy a 50-pound bag of oatmeal, a 50-pound bag of rice, a 25-pound bag of red beans, and a 20-pound bag of small pasta shells. The spaghetti. You're going to have the spaghetti, right? Why? Because that food I just told you would cost you less than $80, $85. You can buy Mylar from discountmylarbags.com. They're cheaper on Amazon from them than they are from their own website, but discountmylarbags.com, they'll sell you the bags and the oxygen absorbers for that size bag. You can buy enough bags to put all that stuff in the bags. Use your wife's hair straightener. She'll get angry at first, but the next day she won't even realize you did it. Hair straightener gives you the same amount of heat on both the front and the back when you're sealing your Mylar. Right? DiscountMylarBags.com, get the Mylar, go to Lowe's, get the food buckets. Hold that bucket up for us for a second, will you? Guys, I get my buckets at Lowe's. They're $3 and some odd cents a piece. They say food grade on the side. I get my lids at Lowe's. I get my lids at Lexington Container. Wherever you want to get your lids, whether it's a standard lid or a Gamma Seal lid. You can get those $10. You can spend less than $130, guys. You can feed 205 people 3 meals one day. $125. $375 You can feed 205 people breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 days. You can save 205 souls without interfering with your own preps. Sam's Wholesale, you get 96 rolls of toilet paper for 20 bucks. Women use 57 rolls of toilet paper, 58 rolls of toilet paper a year, and men use 43. So for an average American couple, you need 101 rolls of toilet paper a year. 20 bucks, you can buy a 96 count case. They can either limit how much they use each time, or they can prepare for a couple days worth of leaves and corn cobs. It's up to them. I guarantee the man will run out before the woman does. At least in my house they would. The point is, guys, it's not a monumental task. It's not. This weekend, next week, guys, next week, I want you to take your wives to a nice dinner on Friday night, maybe a movie afterwards. I want you to find something that she likes to do. My wife likes festivals. They always cost me about 200 bucks. 100 for her to spend and 100 for me to buy food with. You don't eat it all, just a bite or two to save, but you gotta taste everything. Take your wife to whatever she likes to do, spend another $100, $200. On Sunday, I want you to get up, go to church if you go to church, and after church, I want you to take your wife to a nice dinner, maybe invite the pastor with you, or an elder of the church, or here's one, bring your mother-in-law. I hated that woman, thank God she's gone, but while she was here, I was respectful and I took care of her. Oh, I'm glad that woman's dead. Anyway, the point is, next weekend, spend about $300 and $350. And then on Monday morning, a week from tomorrow, I want you to spend the entire day while you're at work, while you're driving, while you're dealing with your coworkers, while you're sitting in front of the boob tube at night, watching the stupid crap that justifies your fear. I want you to ask yourself, how many people are going to die because of the luxuries that you experienced that weekend? And I guarantee you by the time you get up Tuesday morning, you'll never do it again. You're out of time. The cycle ended September 22nd, 2013. It's a 3 to 5 year window. We've already started seeing the effects. We've already started seeing the merging of the northern and the southern currents. We've seen the merging of the northern and the southern hemispheres' weather patterns. We've seen the shifting to 37.6 degrees of our weather pattern. We've seen the massive animal die-offs. Thank you. We've seen the massive animal die-offs. We've seen everything that there is to see to let us know that we're now at the point where it could literally happen like that. It could happen before I'm done talking today. We're that close, guys. All of the crappy, bad, nasty, horrible, chaotic, disease and horrid, whatever you can think of multiplied by 1,000 that could happen to let us know it's here has already happened. It's here. The end can come any moment. What are you going to do tomorrow that's different from what you did yesterday? I sell food. If you can't afford it, I'll give you food. I don't care. Last year I made over $350,000 off of my regular job. This is just keeping me on the road. If you can't afford it, I'll give you food. You might find me laying in a ditch with a bullet hole in my back, and you may help me survive. You may be the person whose son gets the electricity back on in 20 years. You may be the person that your grandson saves my great-granddaughter's life. I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow brings. You want to know what I do know? You're a human being. And I have an obligation to share with you what I know and to share with you what I can to ensure that you survive. It may benefit me. It may not. But I can guarantee this much. When this happens, you will know what has just happened and you will think about this moment. And you will feel joy and elation at the foreknowledge that you had, or you will feel regret at the inaction that you took. your choice today, how you will feel then. If you don't believe me about what's coming, I really don't care. I'm the only person in the United States alive today that has made 43 predictions on the record, time, date, stamps, YouTube, Facebook, 43. What is my track record? 100%. The 44th prediction I made 4 months ago. If I've been right 43 out of 43 times, there's a pretty daggone good chance of what? I'm going to be right this time. I may be wrong. I hope I am. You think I want to see 88 to 94% of our population die in the next 6 months? No. No. You think I want to walk down the street and see a dead 4-year-old laying in the road? No. You think I want to find a car with blood-covered seats and ask myself what happened to the bodies? What kind of people am I around right now? No. But if it does happen, I'm ready. And I hope to God you are too. Guys, my name is Bob Gaskin. I'm from Black Dog Survival School. I appreciate you hearing me ramble today. Thank you.